Ennis, Judy Steele wanted to know why someone would stop her on her shopping trip Friday to ask about U.S. Rep. Joe Barton. Steele, 69, jokingly asked whether Barton was in another one of those sex scandals or something like that. Well, actually, one of Steele's daughters told her, yes, something like that. Once Steele heard the details, how a nude image that Barton had sent to a woman has now circulated online, she offered some initial disappointment. Well, not too smart. Just weeks after announcing that he would seek an 18th term in Congress, Rep. Joe Barton apologized after a photo showing him naked with his private parts obscured was circulated online, but Steele's daughter, Debbie Ware, 47, replied, "Yeah, but how many people do that every day? It's not smart, but am I not going to vote for him? That would be a reason," Ware said. "If we delved into every politician's personal life and secrets, very few would be good enough to be in politics." Steele ultimately agreed with her daughter, and so did many others interviewed Friday in Barton's hometown, 35 miles south of Dallas off Interstate 45. The lewd images, which Barton shared while in a relationship with a woman, had little bearing on people's opinions of the man who has represented the area in Washington since 1985. People who liked Barton still do, although some think he's been in Washington too long and needs to come home. People who think he basically runs the town did not have any interest in talking about him. And the people who didn't like him still don't. Texas Rep. Joe Barton might be a victim, but he's also politically vulnerable. Strategists say don't ask me about Joe Barton, said Red Sanders, a barber and former city council member and police chief. Joe Barton is an expletive. Sanders' colorful opinion of Barton had nothing to do with sexting, for which Barton quickly apologized Wednesday. Sanders always voted against Barton because he doesn't believe Barton does much for Ennis. Nor does Sanders trust the career politician. The sexting, Sanders said, only adds to the distrust. But Sanders, an outspoken 76-year-old, said he doesn't think the images will change people's minds. Knowing the people of Ennis, it won't change nothing, he said. Joe Barton warned women not to release explicit photos that are now under police investigation. Some Ennis residents, who were themselves camera shy, have known Barton, 68, since he was an executive with Ennis Business Forms in the 1970s. While Barton makes news for things like fighting for tax breaks to help fund a 42,000-seat stadium in Arlington, his base is Ennis, Pop. 19,211. Here, they heard long ago about his first marriage, and then his second marriage. A few who agreed to interviews Friday went to school with his children or his daughter-in-law remember Barton speaking at the high school when they were teens or seeing him at town functions. Barton was known as a respected community member who sometimes wrote letters of recommendation for people, brothers Steve and Brian Medina said. As Steele said, Barton is about as commonplace around here as Starbucks the Walmart. At the Starbucks, Jim Snyder, 48, said he feels bad for Barton, who some legal analysts believe may have been a victim of a crime. Snyder, who has a cleaning services company, said he went to the same church as Barton and has received business from him. He's a good man. He's done a lot for us, Snyder said. I know he fights for us every day. We've all done bad things. But the way they exploited him is just ridiculous. What he didn't do was he didn't hurt anybody. A campaign sign for Rep. Joe Barton is seen in the window of his office along Ennis Avenue in Ennis. A bumper sticker for Rep. Joe Barton is seen on vehicles outside his office in Ennis. Rep. Joe Barton's office along Ennis Avenue in Ennis on November 24, 2017. Downtown Ennis on November 24, 2017. A sign for Rep. Joe Barton's office along Ennis Avenue in Ennis. The entrance to historic downtown Ennis. But at the Walmart, Rita Peel, who once volunteered for a Barton campaign, was totally shocked by the news. Peel said she was really disappointed in Barton, a former neighbor. Peel, who moved to Alpine from Ennis a decade ago, would say what she believes Barton, who has announced he will seek re-election, should next. The voters will take care of it, she said of Barton. Others were surprised, but not shocked, by the images, which Barton said were sent when he was separated from his second wife. Some were appalled that the woman would leak the images that were sent in a consensual sexual relationship. Cindy Brewer, 53, and a group she was with outside a barbershop said they didn't see why Barton's sexting was an issue. They don't see where Barton did anything wrong. He wasn't accused of groping anyone. No one alleged he harassed them. He was in an adult relationship, they said. Why Rep. Joe Barton sticks around as other Texans kiss Congress goodbye. They said they'd rather focus on real issues facing Ennis, such as healthcare accessibility. Sexting doesn't move the needle for them. I don't care about that stuff. I don't even know why it makes the news, Brewer said. I just think it's a waste of time. Holly Hubachek, who runs a cafe on the town square, heard about Barton's sexting on Facebook. And in her opinion, Hubachek said, Barton was an adult being a human being. The woman who shared the images should have kept them to herself, Hubachek said. That's personal, Hubachek said. It's his business. It should have been left that way.